Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
So today I want to talk about our top 10 underrated villains.
Now, this doesn't mean these villains are bad. I just think in the mainstream, these villains don't get enough attention.
Yeah, they're not really well known like our core four.
Right. So we want to give these villains all the love and all the attention because these are some of our what we think should be at the top of some people's list. So would you like to start us off?
Yeah, so number 10 is Pumpkinhead. I love this movie. I think that he is a badass. His look is just frightening, and just what he represents. He's a scary pumpkin guy.
And I think this is prime for a remake.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
that we could get a really good remake of this movie today.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, this is kind of cheating because it's 3 rolled up into 1, but it's Lawson, Vinny, and North from Sometimes They Come Back. When we finally see him back in the bathroom, when Mr. Norman walks in there and like, you remember North, don't you? Just transferred up from Milford, and then when they're in the car with the bully, and he's like, we're going to do the face. We're too old for this shit. And then they start doing the face. Like, you want to talk about a movie prime for a remake? I would fund, produce, direct, act. I would do everything I possibly could to be a part of this movie.
I mean, we've gotten how many other of the Stephen King adaptations
that were made for TV?
Yeah, that they remade. So, I feel like this one really...
And it could be done really well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Practically. And, absolutely.
I'll even provide distribution for it. I'll do whatever I can.
Number 8, we have the Djinn from Wishmaster. He is, I don't know, he has the charisma like Chucky and Freddy. But then he is able to trick you and make you, say what he wants you to say. And he's just he can transform, he can turn into take your skin. He's just a scary guy. And I thought the ending of this, I was like, how are they going to trick him? And it was just so smart. And I really enjoyed this movie a lot.
They also have the spot where he unalives himself just to do it.
Yeah.
In front of that woman. You can't beat me.
Just to show, you can do nothing. And like I said, he gets into your head and he tricks you. He's awesome.
Amazing villain. Mm-hmm. Number 7, we have Mr. Slauson from Tourist Trap.
Why don't you like me?
And he just, when you get the reveal of him, when you finally see that it's him.
Yes.
And he just does a bunch of weird shit, when he grabs her when he's in the water.
Yeah.
He's just a weird dude.
He's a weird dude, absolutely. But, this whole movie is just underrated.
Yeah.
The whole entire thing.
Well, Barbara Crampton announced she's doing a requel while we were at Horror Hound.
I'm there for it. I'm excited.
And the fact that Barbara Crampton's attached her name to it. Horror royalty.
You know that it's got to be something.
Yeah, we will be there opening night.
Yes.
Yes.
Number 6, we have The Collector.
From The Collector, The Collection, and the upcoming The Collected.
Yes. We've been waiting how long for this?
Too long.
This guy is terrifying. Talking about he's smart. He can set up these booby traps, and he just his look too is so scary. How his eyes glow in the dark, and he's so scary. But he's
badass.
Yeah, he is a badass, and he can trick you and trap you, and he's a great villain that I don't hear enough about.
Right. Number 5, one of the scariest ones to me as a kid, the Tall Man from Phantasm. Mm-hmm. I had the sphere as a kid. I loved that thing. Hearing this guy yell, boy.
Welcome home, boy.
That's something that I will always have in my nightmares.
It takes you back to being a child. What'd I do?
When you get the guy that gets the sphere in his head for the first time and he pisses himself, I was like, what in the hell is going on? It's such an amazing film. And, the Tall Man himself is such a terrifying villain. Any of his one-liners especially.
Mm-hmm.
It's never over.
So, I could go on and on about him, but he's right at the middle of the list because he is a part of a 5-film franchise, but I still don't think mainstream he gets enough attention. So, Number 5, The Tall Man, Phantasm.
Number 4, we have Gabriel from Malignant. Talk about a badass villain. Did you see that scene
The jail
in
scene?
the jail? Yes, like he took out all those people, and just the way like he is flexible and like he moves like, you know, backwards because he is the back
Going
of
out
her.
the window.
Yes, like everything he does is just so awesome, and he looks terrifying, like grossly terrifying. And I love Malignant. When Malignant first came out, we watched it every day that
For
weekend.
like that weekend.
Yeah, we watched it 3 times because we were just like in awe. It was so good. Like when you finally get what the twist is, it's like, oh, this is so good. This is so smart.
Yes. If you guys haven't, by the way, I want to throw this in there real quick. Go watch The Dark Half by Stephen King. Malignant is The Dark Half on crack.
Yes.
Like The Dark Half is, they had to get inspiration from that movie, and it's a fantastic movie as well, but we would love to see the Malignant story continue.
Oh, yeah,
So
absolutely.
many different directions
it
they could go.
absolutely could.
Yes. Number 3, you want to talk about, well, less known movies. This movie came out in 2022. It's called The Harbinger. Came out in December, and we were getting ready to do our top 10 favorite movies of the year. We had to redo our whole list after watching this movie.
Yeah.
That's how much we loved this movie that year. That
Yeah,
day.
watched
We were doing it that day.
And then we had to scribble it out just to add this movie into it.
So he looks like a,
Like an old doctor with like the beak mask on.
yes. What, I can't think of what they're called. Plague doctor.
Plague
He
doctor.
looks like an old school plague doctor. And the thing about him, spoiler alert, go watch this movie.
Yes.
He erases you.
Yes.
So it's not like he kills you. It's not like he kills your family. He erases
Like
you
your
from memory.
family
You
or
never
friends
existed.
do not remember you at all. Like
And it's a terrifying concept.
like thinking of like dying itself, like that's terrifying, but thinking about like no, my family and my friends would never remember who I was, that is scary. That is a very scary concept.
Heartbreaking end to this movie. Very heartbreaking end, and it hits you in the chest. So The Harbinger from 2022, fantastic movie. Ashley and I both loved it very, very much.
Number 2, we have, you can call them mommy and daddy, sister, brother. They are so freaking scary.
From The People Under the Stairs.
From The People Under the Stairs, yes. I feel like
Everybody should know
who this is, but this is our underrated list, so clearly they don't. Terrifying, both of them together. They both play a role in.
They are a yin and yang to each other.
Absolutely, and he's the big like scary guy with a gun that wears bondage, but he's still like he bows down to her.
He's terrified of her.
He is, and it's just the two of them together. Like
when she has Alice in that bathtub.
Yeah.
And Alice is screaming, and she's like, "Look what you did to my dress!" Like she's just a terrifying individual.
Yeah, someone that clearly doesn't care about others' lives.
Yeah, it's just so terrible.
And yeah, this movie is just so phenomenal. I love it so much.
For those of you that don't know,
It's
Ashley's
my
favorite horror film.
It absolutely is. I love this movie.
So we're going to go from Ashley's favorite horror film to Ken's favorite horror sequel of all time. And we're going to talk about Rose the Hat from Dr.
Rose
Sleep.
the Hat.
You want to talk about a villain that is beautiful and scary and a leader. Like she leads the true knot. She kills that girl at the beginning who was played by Violet McGraw. You go back and see all these little things that we didn't notice back then. But yeah, she just, and when she, obviously one of the most intense kills of all time with the baseball boy. Rose the Hat, I think, is not only one of the most underrated villains of all time. I think we should get a prequel to Dr. Sleep telling her story.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That, to me, would just be an intense and incredible movie. Rebecca Ferguson nailed this role so well. Fell in love with Rebecca Ferguson. This helped us to really fall in love with Mike Flanagan.
Yes.
Like I said, this is truly my favorite horror sequel of all time.
What I love about this movie is if you've never seen The Shining, it doesn't matter, because when you go into this movie, it's its own like entity. Like it has different little Easter eggs for The Shining lovers, but you don't have to have seen The Shining previously.
If you've never seen The Shining, this whole movie will make sense to you.
It absolutely will.
Like I said, the Easter eggs are great. Especially in the third act when they go to the Overlook. all the Easter eggs there are fantastic.
Yes.
But if you've never seen The Shining, you're not going to be like, what are they doing right now? They still do it with a continuity of its own movie, which is so fucking hard to do, especially when you're making a sequel to one of the greatest horror films of all time. So,
and I just love when a movie has a woman that's a villain and she's just like a fucking badass. Like,
yes, she's beautiful. Yeah, but she's dangerous. She's a badass.
She's so much more than just her looks.
Right.
Like,
she's the perfect, like, she's the total horror villain package.
She absolutely is.
So let us know down in the comments, guys, who are some of the villains that we forgot? Who are some of the villains that you do not agree with? You don't think they're underrated? Maybe we are underrating them ourselves. So we always love to hear your guys' feedback. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay who you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.